Hi, I'm Gassor and I'm going to take you through the downward kick. To do this kick you have to have a good range of flexibility. It doesn't have to be split level, but it has to be quite significant because we are lifting our leg above the opponent's head and striking down on top of it. So if you are struggling with your flexibility, my stretching tutorials should help you. Also, dynamic flexibility will help you get this kick. So I suggest you practice your front leg raises, outward crescent kicks and inward crescent kicks, and it will be a lot easier for you to do. We can do an outward downward kick or an inward downward kick. I suggest you learn both as they both have their advantages in different situations, which I will explain later on. So let's break down the outward downward kick first. The easiest way to perform the downward kick is to go into your fighting stance and perform the kick off your rear leg. From this position, step 1, we're going to turn our front foot to release our hips. Step 2, we're going to lift our leg up at 45 degrees on the inside. We're going to circle the leg out and we're going to thrust right down now, drop it in the centre on top of the opponent's head, or if they tilt back onto their chest, striking with the heel, or for reach we can strike with the flat of the foot. If you already know how to do the outward crescent kick, then it's basically doing that, but instead of going all the way through, we're going to the centre line and dropping the kick straight down and striking with the heel or flat of the foot. Now the inward downward kick. Again, starting from your fighting stance. Step 1, we're going to turn the front foot to release our hips. This time though, we're going to chamber on the outside at 45 degrees. We're going to circle inwards to the centre and drop down on the opponent again, striking with the heel or flat of the foot. If you already know the inward crescent kick, then think of it as that, but instead of going all the way through with the kick, you're going to go to the centre line and drop straight down into the middle, striking with the heel or flat of the foot. Now pointers to improve your downward kick. Make sure for both versions you are turning your front foot out to release your hips. If we don't turn that front foot, when we're trying the outward downward kick version, we're going to be going against our hip. We're not going to be able to create much momentum and we're going to end up with a less efficient downward kick. Also, by not turning that front foot, we're going to be lifting it up more in front of the opponent, which means we've got more chance of scuffing them on the way up or hitting the elbow and damaging our foot. So we need to turn the front foot so the leg can come up to the side of the opponent, create the momentum to drop down into the centre and cause more damage. When we're doing the inward downward kick, if we don't turn that front foot, we end up killing the momentum and it kind of stops just before the centre line. So we need to turn this front foot so we can lift and get the momentum going straight through, then accelerate down into the middle. If we don't turn the front foot, we can't do that. When we are swinging the leg up at 45 degrees, whether it be outside or inside, we want to make sure we are swinging with that leg bend to minimise the chance of scuffing the opponent on the way up or scuffing the side of them, but also, so when we lift, we can start to extend the leg on the way up and then accelerate it through down to the middle to create more momentum and more power in the kick. If we're swinging the leg up straight the whole way, it's going to be very hard to create a lot of power in your downward kick. When we're lifting up bent, we can start to extend it and accelerate through the kick as we're extending. So we end up with a faster and stronger kick. And that goes for the inward downward kick as well, exactly the same principle. When the kick reaches its peak, thrust down and push hips forward so more body weight is in the kick, creating more power. When you connect with the kick, make sure you don't have your leg completely straight because your leg will hyperextend and you will damage your knee. Think of it when we punch. We don't punch with a completely straight arm because if we hit something, the pressure will go back into our arm and into our elbow joint. So it's exactly the same with our leg. If our leg's fully straight and we hit something hard enough, it's going to travel into our leg and go into the knee joint and it's going to get damaged. So make sure when you connect, your leg is slightly bent. Not completely bent, obviously, but a slight bend. Just like when we punch, we have it slightly bent. It looks almost straight when we punch. Exactly the same as when we throw the downward kick, that's what we want. When we connect with the downward kick, we want to be striking with our heel or flat of the foot. The heel is more dense, so it will cause more destruction and damage. If we're striking with the flat, it's mainly for range and it'll be a slap, so it's not going to cause much damage. It's just going to give you that little bit longer reach, so it's good for light to semi-contact sparring where you need more points. The main target areas are the collarbone on either side, the jaw, the nose, or the top of the head. If the person tilts their head back, we can also strike down on top of their chest. If the opponent is angled slightly as we move when we are fighting, then we can strike into the temple, the jaw, or the neck. Now other ways to do the downward kick. Now we just learnt the downward kick off the rear leg, so now we're going to learn it off the lead leg. Now to do this, we have to turn the back leg slightly to release our hips. We keep it forward, it's the same thing as earlier about not turning the front foot. So we need to turn that to release our hips. Transfer the body weight onto your back leg, so you can lift your lead leg and perform the inward downward kick or the outward downward kick. When we have the lead downward kick, we can cover range by stepping in. So all we have to do is the leg we want to kick with in front, we step into the front leg and we make the downward kick. Another way to cover distance is to do the skip downward kick. All we have to do is have the leg we want to kick with in front, and as this leg comes in, we want this one already gone and initiating the technique. The best way to remember it is that the back leg is the cat and the front leg is the mouse. We don't want the cat to get the mouse, so these should never ever touch. So as you initiate the technique, you're already gone into your downward kick and performing the technique. If you want to land this kick in sparring, I suggest that you either disguise, set up, or use the kick as a counter. If I'm attacking with the kick, I like to do the outward downward kick version, because as I lift the leg, it lifts up on the inside at 45 degrees. So if I get hit mid-kick, it normally hits your guard or leg, whereas if we do the inward downward kick version, we're opening the body up, so we're going to get hit in an area that's more likely to damage us. So when I do the outward downward kick, to disguise it, I like to lift it like I'm going to do a hook kick, and then I change it to a downward kick. So it tricks the opponent, makes the kick very deceptive, and it loops over and strikes them on top of the head, or I can even do a diagonal downward kick and hit them into the temple. Now I do not like to do inward downward kicks off the lead leg. I find it's very ineffective for me. It might be better for you, but it's not that great for me. If I was going to do an inward downward kick attacking, I would do it off the rear leg, and I'd throw it as if I'm going to do a roundhouse, then I'd loop it and throw the inward downward kick, so you've got more chance of landing the move as they think you're going to be throwing the turning kick instead. We can also use the downward kick to knock down the guard. Here are some ways to set up the downward kick. When countering, it depends on which kick the opponent has done on what downward kick I do. If we both spar with our right leg in front, and the person's coming in with a side kick or hook kick, then that means it's going to be coming in this way. So I like to make sure I skip this way and throw the outward downward kick. So I'm getting out of the way of the technique, and I'm still able to break the angle and drop it on the opponent. If the person is swinging the right roundhouse kick, then I like to skip this way, as it breaks the alignment again, but also my body moves out of the way of the kick, but I'm still covered with my guard if it does manage to creep around. If they were kicking with their left leg, then it would be the opposite way around. This concludes my tutorial on the downward kick, so check my channel for other tutorials and subscribe for future tutorials. Thank you.